Welcome to Stoic Life X9. In today's video, we're diving into 7 ways. Make sure to watch until the end for powerful insights and practical tips that can transform your life. Let's get started. Have you ever experienced anxiety spirals or felt under pressure from society expectations? If the response is yes, I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control. Many of us live our entire lives trapped in the cycle of having excessive concern for objects. Things may not be as significant as we initially believe, but have you ever thought whether there's a method to get out of this maelstrom and find a calm method to go through life? We will go further and examine a philosophical approach in today's video, a key that lets you live a more contented and joyful existence. This technique, known as the art of not caring, is not about showing disrespect or indifference to. Instead, it's about concentrating our attention on what matters most to others, focusing on what we can manage and letting go of everything else. Today, let's embark on the path to break free from the bonds of excessive recognition. We'll look at 7 strategies that will give you more confidence and help you take back control of your life. So watch this video through to the very end if you're prepared to let go of other people's opinions. What are we waiting for? For additional information that we are prepared to impart to you. First things first, learn how to say no. Acquire the ability to say no. I want to know what you think you know about the idea of being indifferent. Philosophically speaking, being indifferent does not equate to being totally detached, or having no regard for a certain person, item or occasion. Rather, it's about freeing oneself from social pressure. Fear and anxiety concerning unknowable things that we are powerless to control, and the dread of other people's opinions, the art of not caring, motivates us to concentrate our efforts on our deeds, responses and mindsets, as opposed to squandering mental and emotional resources. Knowing when to give up on things that are out of our control is important, and determining what we should say no to and what is actually worth saying yes to. Saying no is a crucial part of developing the art of not. Considering other people's perspectives serves as a powerful shield that protects our personal boundaries, mental well-being and self-worth. When you are unable to say no to unwelcome demands or obligations, you unintentionally give others permission to force their will on you. This wears you out and leaves you open to other people's attacks, who, when you say no, might not be acting in your best interests. It's a powerful declaration of respect for oneself and assurance in one's own judgment. It demonstrates how much you value spending time and money on the things that are most important to you, rather than trying to win over people's approval by being too kind to them. You reclaim control of your life when you say no to requests that conflict with your needs or principles, and lessen reliance on other people's judgments. Setting boundaries is aided by saying no. Concentrate on your objectives, which eventually releases you from the weight of continuously obtaining acceptance. In the process of discovering oneself and growing personally, accepting the power of no is an essential step in achieving independence from other people's influence, since it fosters an independent attitude, enabling you to make choices free from outside influences and based on your own values and interests. Courtesy, additionally, mastering the art of saying no in a firm but kind way, can strengthen our bonds, which is why I bring up manners, because communicating politely demonstrates respect for others. In addition to, it also shows something about our own character and nature when we politely and softly decline. In addition to maintaining the existing relationship, it enhances our reputation. As a person with the ability to communicate clearly and responsibly, saying no in a courteous way also enables others to comprehend that our choice is not a personal rejection or a lack of regard for them, but rather as a result of our own priorities and individual decisions. In a particular circumstance, approach minimizes the possibility of miscommunication and promotes empathy for one another. Additionally, we demonstrate that we care about more than just our own interests by using courteous language and intelligent refusals, but also regarding other people's emotions and responses, which fosters a positive atmosphere for dialogue. Where everyone is valued and treated with respect, eventually learning how to respectfully say no also fosters autonomy and self-respect, which is demonstrated by our capacity for making autonomous choices without causing harm to others or crucial ties. Saying no also aids in maintaining self-control and decision-making confidence. You can better shape your life when you are clear about what you can and cannot accept. In addition to making you feel more at ease, acting in accordance with your own wishes rather than those of others, and content with who you are, while also fostering a nice atmosphere around you where people are inspired to lead truthful, self-assured lives in the contemporary society, where expectations and social pressure are ever growing. Saying no becomes essential to preserving your personal time and space. It not only keeps equilibrium, but also lessens weariness and stress. Create peace in your life by concentrating on making the greatest decision for you. You not only enhance your physical and mental well-being, but also help to create a more positive social environment. At last, saying no not only improves your listening abilities and a better comprehension of who you are, but it also helps you gain confidence and autonomy in your choices when you make judgments on the fly, not to engage in pursuits or commitments that conflict with your ideals or aspirations. In actuality, you're learning to value and trust your judgment. This not only assists you in determining and pursuing your true priorities, but also supports the growth of your inner fortitude and independence. In order to establish wholesome connections, learning to say no is equally crucial. You come to learn not to put too much strain on yourself when dealing with people, to fulfill everyone else's demands or expectations. Instead, you develop your own independence in determining and preserving your private time, space, and energy. This fosters an atmosphere that allows for your full development, not only at work but also in your personal life, to help you understand the importance of understanding when to say no. Allow me to share a tale with you about David, an employee at an office. A graphic designer frequently experienced overwhelm as he didn't say no. Extra labor when his supervisor requested that he take on more tasks over the weekend, he graciously rejected, stating that he had to manage his personal and professional lives. David suggested splitting up the work among his co-workers in order to finish the job. The manager valued his professionalism without interfering with his personal schedule, and David had greater control over his life and career, which decreased stress and raised self-esteem. In conclusion, learning how to say no is an essential component of personal growth. It gives you more strength and independence, and most importantly, results in a meaningful existence. Staying loyal to your principles and self, this ability is not just essential for time and job management, as well as for preserving mental health and creating a happy, balanced existence. Ways number 2. Quit wanting approval from others in life. Give up asking for permission. Before we move on to point number 2, I want to advise you to give up asking for permission in life. Many of us are accustomed to getting consent from others before making decisions that affect ourselves. We frequently seek the approval of others by turning to friends, family, or other relationships, in an attempt to ensure that we are making the right decision, but this may do more harm than good. Asking for permission unintentionally conveys that we are unsure of our capacity for independent judgment. Even worse, when we tip the scales, we give others the authority to approve or reject our requests. People prefer to be in charge when given the chance. By nature, therefore, asking for permission might lead to unneeded intervention and impede one's own growth. I urge you to follow these actions in order to escape this cycle of self-limitation. Prior to anything else, decide what matters most to you and spend some time thinking about your basic principles. Long-term objectives and desires you wish to pursue. Once you have a better understanding of yourself, you will find it easier to make decisions because you are clear about your goals. Learn to listen to yourself in addition to being self-aware. Occasionally, our feelings and intuition can offer deep understanding of what is actually best. Recognize the difference between other people's advice and their useful ideas. Learning to take chances and not be afraid of failing comes next, but that's just more nonsense. Failure is a necessary component of learning and development, not a sign of weakness. You'll feel more liberated to try new things and make choices without waiting for approval from others when you don't fear failing. Lastly, surround yourself with uplifting and encouraging individuals. Your surroundings have a big impact on how confident you feel about yourself. When you're around by those who occasionally have faith in your talents and motivate you to work toward your own objectives, liberty and self-governance, you'll feel more resilient and equipped to take on obstacles without seeking other people's approval. By giving oneself the self-awareness and bravery to take chances and assistance from your surroundings, you'll be able to walk the path of independence and autonomy, where all choices and deeds originate from you and represent your actual self and ideals. The inclination to look to other people for approval stems from ingrained desires for acceptability and early life dread of being rejected or criticized. We receive education that prepares us to live up to social norms and other people's expectations, a tendency that frequently makes us rely on outside approval for each choice we make and action we do. This behavior not only impairs our capacity for autonomous decision-making, but it impedes self-awareness and personal growth. This never-ending need for acceptance frequently shows up in interpersonal and professional interactions, when we feel that our co-workers, friends, and even family need to value us. But it's crucial to understand that occasionally getting input and counsel from others might be beneficial. They shouldn't be the only things that influence our choices and actions. We must develop the ability to distinguish between taking advice seriously and relying solely on other people's approval to become independent in both mind and behavior. Setting specific goals is part of developing a clear sense of self-worth and self-confidence and values in life, as well as having faith in our capacity to make decisions when we start to believe in ourselves and stop depending on other people's approval. We unlock the door to genuine independence and self-governance. A crucial component of this process is coming to terms with and accept ourselves for who we are, flaws and all, since doing so will make us stronger. In becoming more self-assured and capable in our day-to-day activities. Moreover, persistently requesting authorization may result in a decline in self-worth and self-reliance. Independence and self-belief. When we allow other people to decide for us, our confidence is undermined. And capacity to overcome obstacles in life, it's essential to cultivate a sense of self-reliance and self-assurance, which involves realizing your advantages, recognizing your limitations, and the fact that errors are inevitable. Making errors is a necessary component of learning and developing oneself. The first and most crucial step in creating a more independent mindset is to recognize and pursue modest but significant personal objectives, beginning with manageable baby steps. Simultaneously, this can assist you in acting freely without requiring consent or permission from third parties. Like Jack, who is a sports enthusiast, it might be a sensible choice. Who made the decision to learn how to swim, began by studying how to stand underwater and float on the water's surface. Despite his initial struggles and dread of the water, he persisted. Jack set aside time each week to train in the pool in order to keep up a positive routine. He soon became proficient in his abilities and learned how to swim. Any advancement, no matter how tiny, in the process of learning to swim demonstrated Jack's independence and self-worth. Jack felt accomplished to have conquered his original fear of the water and learned a new ability. It enhanced his sense of self-worth and confidence. Self-reflection on a frequent basis is crucial to developing autonomous thought. Think carefully about your beliefs and the values that are most important to you, and what actually gives your life significance. This approach aids in your self-understanding, empowering you to decide more wisely and in accordance with your actual self. This deep self-awareness will act as a compass in all of your decisions, making sure they are affected by nothing outside of yourself and that they speak to your true self. Additionally, engaging in self-reflection facilitates the identification and removal of psychological obstacles that could impede the growth of independent thought, such as facing and resolving worries, fears and pessimistic ideas that may undermine your self-assurance and ability to make decisions. By embracing and conquering these mental obstacles, you'll strengthen your ability to make choices and acting independently, creating and sustaining a support system in the end made up of dependable friends, co-workers, or relatives who support. And it's also vital to support your independence. A support system can offer helpful criticism without forcing their opinions on you. Accept the gradual nature of the process and have patience as you embark on your journey towards self-reliance. You not only make better decisions for yourself by doing this, but also grow into a more powerful, assured version of yourself. Number 3, define success according to your own standards. You can liberate yourself through the transforming process of defining success in your own terms. From the limitations of cultural norms in a society where customary norms frequently create your own definition of success. Determine what success looks like. Defying these stereotypes and forging your own route becomes essential because success is not a set definition. It is quite intimate and represents your particular aspirations and principles. You can give your life more depth and purpose by defining success according to your own criteria. This aids in keeping your attention on your priorities and keeps you from becoming enticed to pursue someone else's notion of success, whether it's reaching a particular professional objective, gaining expertise in a particular field, or forming deep connections. Your definition needs to incorporate all of your goals and passions. Defining success for oneself, in addition to establishing beliefs and personal aspirations, aids in formulating a clear plan of action for you to follow. It serves as a roadmap for your travels. This assists you in comprehending the precise actions required to fulfill your objectives. This boosts confidence and makes it easier to concentrate on the most crucial activities, to succeed on your terms. In addition, setting your own standards for success allows you to be free from other people's judgments and opinions of others. You are no longer dependent on outside validation. You have this confidence because you know what success means to you, gives you the capacity to be self-motivated and actively pursue your goals. Having complete control over your path implies you are not swayed by outside viewpoints, and never allow outside influences to influence your choices. Constantly keep in mind that your success story is distinct, and you are the only one who can write it. You are not required to follow social norms. Your story of success is not like any other norms and expectations. By acknowledging and communicating your own idea of success, you set out on a purposeful path to respect yourself and seek out a deep-seated debtor in your heart. This is the path not only about reaching your personal goals for success, but also about creating a happy and genuine life. You will live a true life if you dare to define success by your own standards and relish every moment in your own special manner. Allow me to share Alex's success story with you. Alex has always entered drawing contests since she was a young girl, and others close to him have constantly complimented his artistic talent. He has also received numerous little prizes in regional events. It pushed him to enter national contests or go after a career in professional art. But Alex's interest is helping others and doing charitable work more than painting. Rather than going after a profession in art and aiming for notoriety and creative achievement, Alex believes that doing charitable work is the key to great success. And having a beneficial effect on the community he has spent time and energy building, has taken involved in charitable endeavors and runs art education programs for youngsters from low-income families. Giving to those in need is more important to Alex than winning art prizes or becoming a well-known artist. Instead, it's about improving the lives of others and improving the neighborhood in which he lives. Therefore, don't be afraid to establish your own standards. Establish success objectives. By doing so, you'll produce something genuinely unique. And profound life story number 4, make intelligent choices. Each of us has limitations in life due to our limited capacity to care about various things. Making a conscious decision about what matters most to us and where to focus our efforts is crucial. We frequently catch ourselves getting sucked into caring about what other people think. In noteworthy patterns or internet validation that is irrelevant, these diversions frequently cause us to become lost and lose focus. Focusing on anything other than our aspirational, colorful dreams and beneficial for one's own growth, consider this for a minute. When we devote an excessive amount of time and effort to unimportant things, we run the risk of ignoring the things in life that really count. This turns into an invitation to the ordinary and mediocrity, which is something we should work to avoid. When we focus on irrelevant viewpoints and influences, we may become incapable of concentrating on significant tasks and bright dreams. Now is the time to concentrate on improving ourselves and take advantage of the opportunities, and follow your passions by minimizing these unimportant things. We can make sure that we don't pass up the opportunity to grow and shine. Thus, consider what it is that you are devoting your time and attention to. Decide firmly what is important to you, and consider your options carefully before distributing the multitude of distractions in your path. This aids in keeping your attention, but also assists you in creating a distinct path characterized by accomplishments and originality. Making informed decisions is essential to releasing oneself from the impact of other people's viewpoints. And prudently, we need to put our passions, aspirations, and personal development first. When we give our all to worthwhile objectives and aspirations, strangers' opinions progressively lose their power to affect our life. Suppose you are a driven artist who wants to advance your career first. You were always preoccupied with what other people thought and how many likes you received on social media. This distracted you from your objectives, but eventually you made the decision to put your whole attention on studying and creating, disregarding the opinions of others. As a result, you were well known in the art world and established your unique style. Never fear. I want to emphasize to you, through the aforementioned example, that time is a valuable resource, and scarce resources, as well as the time we waste worrying about minor things. It is a time lost in our path to achievement and personal fulfillment. Consequently, make sensible decisions and concentrate your attention on the things that are actually important in life. Keep in mind that the choices you make now will determine how you end up in the future. Keep your actual aspirations and goals in mind, and don't let irrelevant comments or trivial factors derail you. Take a brave step and lead your journey in the direction you really want to go. And have faith in number 5. Don't be scared. The fear of confronting or failing people is a common anxiety in a world where conformity is valued highly. Can immobilize you, making adopting a fearless attitude a crucial life lesson. The first step toward releasing oneself from the influence of other people's opinions is to act fearlessly. It's critical to realize that trying to please everyone will not make them happy. Only restricts your capacity for self-improvement and expression. Being brave and expressing who you really are doesn't just show inner strength, but also evidence of your moral character, so it's important to understand that seeking everyone's acceptance can stifle your uniqueness and keep you from reaching your full potential. This knowledge is crucial because it frees you from the limitations of depending on other people's perspectives. The fact is that not everyone will agree with you when it comes to determining your own worth. And while there can be disagreement or criticism, it's crucial to ignore these viewpoints impact your self-assurance and resolve. Exhibiting self-assurance in daily life based on your ideals and beliefs is a manifestation of inner power. You should concentrate on presenting your best self rather than trying to please everyone, and having the confidence to follow your own route while being steadfast on the road you believe in. That's how, like a lion, you exhibit inner power and resolve. It is unaffected by the thoughts of the flock around it. You can then follow your passions and aspirations with freedom, without being limited by peer pressure or society expectations. Become the lion in your own life. This not only safeguards your independence and privacy, but also demonstrates your strength and self-worth. Be the lion in your life and follow your path, and relish the independence and joy it offers. Then take a position to defend your convictions. It exhibits sincerity and dedication to your own principles. However, occasionally this implies that you will encounter resistance or make enemies along the way. It's crucial to creating a fulfilling and meaningful existence. This action is a clear declaration that, in addition to affirming who you really are, you refuse to give in to peer pressure or the requirement for general consensus. Rather, you place more importance on self-made travel and personal development concepts. For instance, you can choose to defy society expectations about marriage at the usual age and instead decide to go overseas for study or stay single and travel the world. Relatives and friends could put pressure or expectations on you about getting married young or going after a secure job, but you choose to follow your own judgment, living the way you want to show that you are courageous and have the freedom to create the life you want. Yet acknowledge that you cannot win over everyone in your vicinity, as this can result in powerful. Pursuing passions can lead to personal fulfillment and independence, and fulfillment on a personal level free from external demands. This bravery can result in a fulfilling existence where all of your choices are interesting and worthwhile. Both your personal objectives and inner impulses influence your actions, not by the need to win others over. Therefore, never back down from a fear of criticism or disappointing others. See it as an essential starting point for your journey, helping you live your life on your own and building a brave and moral future. Number 6. Love yourself. Many people tend to underestimate the importance of loving oneself, some believing it to be exclusive to self-help literature or specialized meditation retreats. Yet, the reality is that self-love is crucial. As one of the guiding ideas for mental toughness and personal growth, you must understand that it has nothing to do with conceit or arrogance. Loving yourself is a sign of a strong sense of self-worth and mental health. Healthy limits are simple to set when you truly love who you are. When it's necessary, politely decline and put your own objectives and ideals first. Your self-esteem is independent of outside validation, thus you are unaffected by what other people think of you. Choosing to make decisions based on self-love rather than continuously pursuing societal acceptance enables you to live authentically, or living up to the expectations of others, which not only leaves you happy with who you are, but also establishes the framework for a contented and balanced life. Nurturing self-love makes you more resilient to adversity, converting stress and uncertainty into chances for development. Moreover, enjoying oneself does not imply conceit or self-satisfaction. In the nation, becoming a better, more accepting version of oneself is a daily effort. You acquire empathy as a result of learning to pay attention to and comprehend your feelings, and, more significantly, self-love and compassion for others enable you to see the importance of leading an independent life, devoid of biases or self-imposed constraints. Your ability to think adaptably and welcome change increases. This is advantageous for one's own growth and, moreover, helps favorably to the people in your immediate vicinity, as well as self-love functions as armor, enhancing your resilience so you can bounce back from setbacks quicker and criticism. It gives you the drive to push through overcoming obstacles in life with the knowledge that your value is unchanging and unaffected by events or outside approval. Significantly, self-love offers a strong basis for confidence and self-worth that enable you to persevere through life's ups and downs. You no longer need the approval or judgment of others when you accept and appreciate who you are. To assess your worth, which aids in the development of a more impartial self-image. Understanding that every setback serves as a springboard for development, love of self. Additionally, setting up appropriate boundaries is facilitated by liking oneself. You gain the ability to say no when it's required in your interactions with other people, and not let yourself be mistreated or injured. Self-love also teaches you to value and look after yourself by eating well, exercising, and getting enough sleep and rejuvenation. In the end, self-love has a good impact in addition to bringing inner strength. Influence on the surroundings that facilitates your dissemination of optimism and create wholesome, encouraging bonds, realizing that self-love is more important and more significant than anything else. So allow me to tell Tom's narrative if you're not sure where to begin. A recent graduate who frequently experienced pressure to excel in many facets of life, Tom realized that he was too harsh on himself and that he had to do well in every way. Tom changed throughout time, first with his work and then with his relationships. He started to value and cherish himself more, and he made time every day for his interests. Like yoga and reading, ate a balanced diet, and learned to say no to excessive work. Tom also began journaling and gave up comparing himself to other people, to adopt a more optimistic outlook on life, which made him happier and more self-assured. Above all, you have to comprehend the importance of learning to love yourself. That self-love is an act of self-preservation rather than selfishness and personal development. Loving oneself nourishes the mind and spirit, letting go and evolving into the greatest version of oneself. It's a journey of self-acceptance and self-discovery that supports real life and happy existence. Therefore, never undervalue the importance of loving yourself. It is the cornerstone of a robust and prosperous existence. You'll pass away soon. Number 7. Although this may sound serious, you will shortly pass away. However, it's an inescapable fact that we will all have to deal with it eventually. You must acknowledge that humanity shall eventually vanish from this planet forever. Our brief existence on this planet ought to serve as a reminder to prioritize what actually matters when you become enmeshed in other people's unfavorable opinions. Consider how fleeting life is. It is a priceless gift, and squandering it worrying about pointless criticism from others is a method to deprive yourself of your own sense of justice. You have to understand that people who mistrust you or criticize you a lot will eventually disappear. Instead of focusing on their comments, you should concentrate on your objectives. Using your time to craft a life you can be proud of requires passion and personal development. Accept the truth that your journey is distinct, regardless of what other people may think. Decided by your own decisions, and your course ought to be dictated by your internal principles, and longs to be free of other people's opinions is a path that leads to authenticity and empowerment. And on this path, it's critical to keep in mind that every experience, no matter how minor, matters at every moment. Own worth. Embrace each day to the fullest and express thanks for everything. From the tiniest pleasures to the most difficult obstacles, life is about more than merely accomplishing lofty objectives, but also about discovering fulfillment and purpose along the way. Keep that in mind. You define your own worth, therefore you don't need to prove anything to anyone else. Nobody else ultimately takes advantage of every chance to develop love and to live your life to the fullest and find happiness. That is how you create your own narrative, a tale worth narrating and cherishing eternally, as every day presents fresh opportunities and obstacles, and how you handle them will determine how your story turns out. Keep in mind that every obstacle has a chance to develop and learn. Keep in mind that happiness is a journey, not a destination. However, a journey is such that each step along the way has intrinsic worth and significance. Practice thankfulness, joy, and acceptance every day. That's how you write a story that's both distinctive and meaningful, a story you can be happy to share with next generations. Imagine your Leo was a young biologist who had to deal with friends' doubts. His family about his scientific career. He persisted in following his love of biology in spite of pressure. Leo put in a lot of study time and attended conferences to gradually establish himself in his profession. Ultimately, he accomplished incredible accomplishment and gained recognition within the scientific community. It demonstrated the importance of leading a genuine life filled with passion and aspirations. Finally, keep in mind that while there are many voices in the world, not all of them are significant. Caring about what genuinely fits with your objectives and ideals is where your real power resides. Accepting these 7 insightful lessons will help you break free from the need to win other people's approval, and concentrate on the things in life that really count. Don't be afraid to stick to your particular opinion. When deciding where to focus your efforts, use caution and have the ability to say no. Therefore, go forth with assurance, tune out the distractions, and lead a genuine life. Because what matters most in the end is how you feel about yourself. Thank you for watching Stoic Life X9. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.